Colin will be able to get in here with us. He's driving, so it's going to be a kind of going through that little channel, between Eureka and Redding's.
Yeah.
Not good service. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Love it.
Well, good morning, everybody. It looks like we've got a good group just being logged in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And please feel free. Thank you, all of you, for putting your cameras on. We love to see all of you guys.
I see like live human beings. We do about 3 or 4 of these a week, and there's nothing that will suck energy out of my existence more than just staring at black screen. So good job to everybody. I see a lot of smiling faces.
Absolutely.
Should we dive in and get started?
Oh,
We
okay.
can.
Yeah.
We're still admitting a whole bunch of people. They're popping on real quick.
Well, good job, Fidelity National Title, for getting such a big group to join us today.
Absolutely.
Look at all these people.
Partners.
It's amazing.
Now my internet is messing up. Joyous.
Katie, something might be happening with my internet. So if I get funky, you just take over, okay?
Got it.
We got this.
All right, everyone, I'm going to get started. This is so incredible. I literally have not seen this many faces. Normally, I just see like black boxes and it says Mitch or, it says Macy, but there's nobody's face. So thank you guys for being brave enough and being dressed. I always assume if like they're not clothed. My name's Craig Reger. I'm the owner and founder of RCC Reger Coaching. I'm going to be super quick on this because we have 57 minutes and you probably don't want to hear about me and you want to hear about how to sell more real estate or have more balance. But I do think with context, we'll give you a really quick background. I've been in the industry for like 23 years. I've got a team. I sold a listing yesterday. I'm still in production. I'm based here out of Portland, Oregon. I've been a coach for the last 15 years. I was highly engaged in a national company. I'm sure most of you have heard of Keller Williams. And I actually got to spend almost 3 years in your neck of the woods. Keller Williams 5-6 years ago invited me to live in Northern California. And I was leading the KW offices throughout Northern Cal and Hawaii. And I spent a lot of time in Sacramento and in Yuba and areas like that. So in no means am I going to say Roseville, El Dorado Hills, like that was an area I was there once a week. So no way am I going to claim to be an expert in your market. And I know a lot's changed in the last 5 years. But with that said, I did get to spend some time where you guys do business. We currently have our own brokerage. It's Reger Homes. So we have an independent boutique brokerage that my team does business out of. And we've got a phenomenal coaching company. In a previous life, I owned 6 brokerages. I had about 1,000 agents working for me. And I sold them because I got to coach those 1,000 agents, which was phenomenal. But at the end of the day, there's 1.6 million agents in America right now, and coaching 1,000 just didn't fill my bucket enough. And frankly, as much as I love the KW brand and I grew up there, having the ability to coach agents from all brands across the country was something I was really passionate about as well. So thank you for taking time with me. I've got some of my leadership team. I've got Miss Katie DeWitt. Who are you, Katie?
Hey, you guys. I came from Title and I've been working with Craig for, I think, 8 years now. I am the head of growth for the department. So any questions about coaching as we're going through, Craig's going to unload a lot of great information. So if you guys have questions, I'm going to keep my contact in there. You can text my personal cell, ask questions, you guys. We are here literally just to help you guys in your business. So we have an agenda, but really ask questions. I try to derail Craig, try to stump and bring some questions. And we're here to go off topic with you guys.
Did you say stump the chump? That makes me the chump. All right, perfect. And then we've got Maddie G in the house, and Maddie is known to be the heart and soul of Reger Coaching Consulting. He's the nice one. So Maddie, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm just thrilled to be here. I am Matt Genesor, aka Maddie G. 13 years in the industry, 10 of that in title, 5 of it in real estate. I'm just excited to see this amount of eager, learning-based people here today. This is going to be an awesome group. Don't hesitate to use the chat box, unmute yourself. We're here for you.
And then last but not least,
Absolutely.
we've got the incredible Destiny. Destiny's running all the back end and
Wow.
making sure I don't screw up technology.
Yay.
Thanks, Destiny. All right, I'm going to go back to the slide deck. We'll get started. Perfect. All right, we're going to open up with this. Has anyone read this book? You've got a chat box. Katie, what should we have them put in the chat box just so we know it's working this morning?
Oh yeah, I think it's still morning time, right? Will you guys write down what you guys had for breakfast? I want to see if you guys can find the chat box, make sure it's working, break the ice a little bit. So tell us what you guys had for breakfast.
I had a chorizo burrito that I made for my children, and my wife was very happy that I cooked for the kids before school today. All right,
Awesome.
so we're going to open up here.
Cheers.
It's a phenomenal book from Mr. Jim Collins. And of course, last but not least, thank you so much, Fidelity Title, for hosting us today and putting this all together. If you have not read this book, jump on Amazon, order it. It's a great read. It's an easy read. And this quote has been my mantra for the last 9 months or so. Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a lot of circumstances in our life? For
Absolutely.
goodness sake, we are 13 months into a pandemic. If that's not a circumstance on its own, I don't know what is. We have family members unfortunately get sick and pass away. We have clients that go through divorces. We have lenders, certainly not none today that are part of today's webinar, but there's lenders out there that say the transaction is going to close on the 21st, and they call us on the 19th and say, guess what? I need a 3-week extension. We've got clients that go and purchase new cars 4 days before closing. There are so many circumstances that come about us from day to day, inside and outside of work. It's unbelievable. And I focus on this because what we have all experienced for the last 13 months is like nothing the world has ever seen before, certainly not in the modern era. So when I read that Mr. Collins says greatness is not a function of circumstance, greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. Greatness, it turns out, is a matter of conscious choice and discipline. I just love this foundation of where we're launching today. What is your conscious choice? So let me guess, you've got no listings for sale. There is zero inventory. Wow. Like, welcome to every city in the US. The good properties are selling in 2 days for 100,000 over asking or 40,000 over asking. Wow, welcome to every city in America right now. By the way, Canada, Australia, we have coaching clients there as well. They're in the exact same market. It's just craziness. So if greatness has nothing to do with our circumstances, and greatness is based around conscious choice and discipline, and as we are approaching 4 months completed into 2021, I start, ladies and gentlemen, by asking you, what is your conscious choice for the next 30 days? My conscious choice is I want to dominate listings. My conscious choice is that if last month I was capable of getting 2 listings, this month I'll get 4. If last month I was capable of getting 5 listings, this month I'll have 10. That's my conscious choice. I love buyers. They're beautiful critters. And if we look back at my last 20 years in the industry, historically, 50% of my closings at the end of the year, more or less, came from buyers and 50% from sellers. I would call that a very healthy business, to have a good split between buyers and sellers. As much as I love buyers right now, let's call it like it is, I would rather have a really great listing, put it on the market today, it's Thursday, and there's a 99% probability in every one of your markets and mine as well, that I'll have multiple offers on it come Monday morning, yes or no. So my conscious choice is I'm going to go and dominate listings. It's very easy to make that conscious choice. But if we go back to Mr. Collins' quote, the challenge becomes discipline. Like, great, I'm going to go from 2 listings to 4. I'm going to go from 5 to 10. Maybe you're the top producer in your marketplace. You're going to go from 20 to 30. Doesn't matter. It's a jump. It's a significant jump. The discipline is waking up every single day that you choose to work for the next 30 days and doing whatever activity it is that you need to do, potentially getting outside of your comfort level. That discipline is day after day, hour after hour, week after week, no matter what circumstances come and attack you, and they will attack you. There's always circumstances that you've got the discipline to do whatever activity it is that you need to do to go and get those listings. In most of our markets, we don't actually have an inventory problem. All right, we keep hearing low inventory, low inventory. I've been tracking markets all around the country, and there is actually in most markets around the country more listings coming on board than there has been this time last year. this time the year before, this time the year before. There's more listings coming on board. The problem is we've got a buyer problem. We've got an abundance of buyers. Those listings are being swept off the shelf. So I get a little frustrated. My own sales team are like, we've got an inventory problem. No, we don't. There's actually way more listings that hit this March than last March. Well, last March was a pandemic. Let's throw that one out the window. There's way more listings that hit this March than 2 years ago in March, 2 years ago in April. We've got plenty of listings hitting the market. They're just being swept off. And I only camp on that because that's a conscious choice. I can look, we have an inventory problem, or I can say no. In my market yesterday in Portland, Oregon, there was 175 listings that hit the market one day, Katie. 175 listings hit the market. Now, on the flip side of that, 182 homes went pending. But there's no shortage of inventory. There was 175 homes that my buyers have a chance to buy. Now, the problem is I didn't have enough of those 175 listings. And I can promise you that Katie, Matt, and I, before today's over, we're going to give you some strategies. I'll bank a little bit of money. There'll be some strategies that most of you have not heard before that can give you some tools to go and get some more listings tomorrow. Would that be helpful? Awesome. Miss Destiny, while I'm loading this and considering some of the things I want to go off topic on today, could you find that email touch that Bree did about the 81,000? All right, I'm gonna have you pull that up when I'm ready. Katie, is there anything you want to add to that quote before I move to the next slide?
I just think it's so relatable. I love that you're saying like, hey, let's camp on this. Like, right, I want to lose weight, and that's a great thing to say. I want to lose 10 pounds, but it's like
conscious choice. I want to lose weight.
Right, but it's the discipline of like getting up and saying no. Like last night, I said no to cheesecake. Like I don't know who does that, but I did. And so, right, it's relatable, and this is the most craziest year that I think we can all agree on, and so it's really relatable to what we're all going through right now. But there is business to be had.
Yeah, it's a great example. I want to lose weight as a conscious choice. Discipline is not eating the cheesecake. Discipline is getting up this morning. Oh crap, in my city, the gym's not open, but I'll go for a run. That's the discipline, day after day after day. And if you do that, I guarantee 30 days from now, you'll be in better shape than today, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Conscious choices, I want to take more listings. Discipline is I'll do some activity tomorrow to find a listing. It may or may not work. Discipline is on Monday because I want to take the weekend off. On Monday, I'll do some activity to get a listing. Discipline is next Tuesday. I'll do, does that make sense? I love the weight loss analogy. All right, next slide. We like to also share this at the beginning of any webinar. This is a very basic org chart, but it's a foundational pillar here at RCC. And I'll just really quickly walk you through it. Every one of you is the CEO of your business. Do I work for ABC Realty or ESA Realty? Do I join Fidelity's webinar today or do I not? Do I hold open houses this weekend, assuming your state will let you, or do I go fishing? Do I start a team? Am I an individual agent? Blah, blah. Do I buy Zillow leads or do I hate Zillow? I don't care. At the end of the day, those are CEO decisions. You get to make those decisions. In fact, the only person who gets to make those decisions is the CEO. Now, we've got 4 other roles in the company. We've got the listing agent, we've got the admin, we've got the buyer's agent, we've got the showing agent. Throughout periods of today, Katie and I will talk about having a team. Some of you are like, well, I'm not. Actually, Katie, why don't you have them put that in the chat box?
Yeah, you guys, will you just for us to get a feel of your guys' production, and so we can really tailor this class, will you write down in the chat box if you have a team, and for us a team is 2 licensed, like you and another licensed agent or more, and just kind of specify who or what you guys are, so independent or with a team.
Individual, team, yeah, just so we know, or maybe you're a team member. So we've got, it cracks me up when people are like, well, Craig, you talked about a team and I'm not a team, I'm an individual agent. I'm going to share with you, every single person that's an individual agent on the planet is actually a team. You're just wearing 5 hats. You're the CEO, you're the listing agent, very different role than being the admin, which is a very different role than being the buyer's agent, and which is a very different role than opening doors and showing homes. There's at least 5 main jobs that we have every day in this industry. And I'll walk you through the financial return. And I realize we've got a big spectrum here of different cities and counties that Fidelity invited. But if we just say the average sales price is $500,000. So let's just role play that, Katie. You're a licensed real estate agent in Eugene, Oregon. And I bet you wish your average sales price was $500,000, yes?
I wish that, yes.
So Katie, let's say you go on a listing appointment tonight and you sign a contract at $500,000. Average listing commission, let's call it 3% for what you do. So that's $15,000, yes or no?
Yep.
Katie, how long is your listing appointment?
About an hour.
Okay, so we can argue, I'll argue that you make half of your commission by getting a listing contract signed.
Well, tell me more.
Well, I'm not saying there's not a tremendous amount of work to do, but in your market, if you get a good listing signed and you have 3,000 agents in your market, if you get a listing signed tonight, you just beat out 2,999 agents, yes or no?
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it.
Tell me that alone is not worth half of your commission.
Well, it's true, because if I didn't get that, then there'd be zero commission. So
Yeah.
getting it is probably half the work. So
It is. So you go and get that listing contract signed, and it's a $15,000 listing commission, just to have a round number. I'm going to say you made $7,500. You said that listing appointment's about 1 hour.
Mhm.
So I'm going to argue you made about $7,500 an hour. Great job.
I'm okay with that number.
Now, Katie, you drive that, right? Like, yeah, you got a listing signed. You're amazing. What do you do next?
Then I run back to my office, and then I start inputting into MLS and calling stagers. And now I just turned into the admin.
Oh, so you're living here.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. At RCC, we call the admin the nurse of the company, right? When my daughter, bless her heart, Olivia, she's now 15. When she was like 8 years old, she had life-saving surgery. Life-saving surgery. The surgeon saved her life. My wife and I spent about a week at the hospital on these super uncomfortable cots right next to her. Katie, who do you think it was that came in day after day and checked, like hour by the hour, checking on Olivia?
The nurses.
Nurses. The doctor was amazing too. Like, she came in at least once or twice a day, looked at the charts, answered our questions, told us what to expect next. But who do you think really took care of Olivia for 23.5 hours a day?
Yeah, the nurses keep everything going.
Yeah, we call the admin the nurses. And it is it's the backbone of every company. So Katie, if you just made $7,500 an hour getting listing contracts on, you drove back to your office and you start calling stagers, you start entering in the multiple listing. Every brokerage in the country, no matter what name is on the sign, says you have to turn paperwork into your broker. What is that worth an hour in most markets?
Anywhere from $15 to $25 an hour.
Yeah, this is California, so maybe closer to 20, 25.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, is $25 an hour less than $7,500 an hour?
Just a little bit.
It is absolutely critical work. But the reason we camp on this is, where did you spend your time yesterday? Did you spend some portion of your day making $7,500, or did you spend your entire day making 20 or 25 bucks an hour? There's no right or wrong. It's an awareness. So we spend our time in the right place tomorrow. Now we've got the buyer's agent role, and the buyer's agent role to me is the surgery. And we call the listing agent the surgeon as well. Surgery is helping your buyer win in multiple offers. Hell, let's call it like it is. Surgery is sometimes getting your buyer to pay more than they want to pay, because that's what it's going to take to win in this robust market. Surgery is helping negotiate low appraisals or nasty home inspections. That's the surgery side. I call that the buyer's agent role. In most markets, that's probably worth about $1,000 an hour. And then we've got opening doors at a really high level and showing homes. What do you think that's worth, Katie?
For showing agent, about 25% of the deal.
Yeah, well, total. So maybe about $100, $200 an hour.
Yeah.
So just an awareness. And then, of course, if you're like, whoa, well, thanks for pointing this out, Craig. Maybe I want to be a listing agent more than I make flyers. Great. Then if you go to the org chart on the right, maybe you replace yourself there. Maybe you love making flyers. Fantastic. But as a coach, I see every single day the agents are like, man, I just want to sell more homes. Or I see agents that's like, Craig, I'm just burned out. Tell me why you're burned out. Well, I showed houses all day. I got a listing on the market at 3 o'clock. I was fielding calls on that all afternoon. I wrote an offer from 6 to 7. I presented at 7:20. And then I saw my kids and my wife. And then from 9 to 11, I was up doing paperwork all night. Like, well, no wonder you're burned out. And the reality is, if that's the cycle you're in, you may consider getting an administrative person to help you with that.
Well, and there is a difference. Again, we're not here to like pitch teams and make you say, you need to go do this, and you're not as good without a team. We're just trying to identify your dollar per hour activities. So not right or wrong, but also probably what makes you happiest, right? Like, I love when I'm taking a listing. I love going and prepping for it and going to and attacking it and closing the deal. I hate the paperwork. And by the way, I'm not good at it. So I come back and I'm doing a crappy job for my clients. I'm doing a less dollar per hour activity, and I'm not very good at it. So, to me, it's also really identifying where your strengths are, where you want to be. And then in our industry, most likely you want to be in the listing or buyer side, which is also most profitable.
Well, we've coached tens of thousands of agents across the country. We've interviewed tens of thousands of agents across the country. And to this day, I've yet to have one agent come to me saying, Craig, I went into real estate because I love paperwork. I went to real estate because I absolutely love making flyers. I went to real estate because I love working on my database and inputting people's contact info. Let's call it like it is. And that's great if you're the exception. Most of us were in this industry because we wanted a flexible career. We love the home buying and selling process. We love consumers reaching their goals of buying and selling homes. And so, reality is if you don't have a house cleaner, you're the house cleaner. It's not a bad thing. I've cleaned my toilet thousands of times. But at one point I made a decision like, I'm going to make a little bit more money. I'm going to pay somebody to do that for me. Well, you can do the same thing in your business on the administrative side or the nurse side. Let's move on. All right, let's go out of script. Let's give them a good one, Katie. Let's give them a listing technique that any one of them could use this week to get a listing. What do you think?
Yeah, just listing with a twist.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, just so everyone is like, I mean, this is a really active group. I see a lot of head nodding. This is like, you can hang up after this, please don't, but this is like the best material of the entire class. So
this works. I see Jay. Jay's about to take notes. Ben's like, all right, let's hear it. All right, Katie, you're a seller.
Okay.
And I'm an agent. I'm at your house. Should we take notes? Sure, Marlo. Take notes. I love it. All right, so Katie, I'm at your house. And I'm interviewing, and it's you and Derek. And bottom line, you just picked me to sell your home.
okay. I'm excited to work with you, Craig.
Yay, thanks for signing contracts. I'm so excited to get your house on the market next week. I'm thrilled that you chose me. Thank you so much for your trust.
Yep. List that house.
Katie, can I ask for your help to get you the most amount of offers?
Yeah, go for it.
Here's what we know. It is not uncommon. The buyer of your property is going to come from someone in your neighborhood. May I explain?
Yeah.
It is not uncommon. The buyer of your property is going to come from someone in the neighborhood. There's somebody that lives 2 blocks away, Katie, that likes your house more than theirs. There's somebody that lives 3 blocks away and they really want their sister to live close to them so the kids can play together. There's somebody that lives 4 blocks away and their parents are in California and they love their parents to move into the neighborhood because they don't get to see them as much during COVID, or at least buy the home to have it as a place to camp out. It is not uncommon the buyer of your home will come from your neighborhood. Is that fair?
That makes sense.
So knowing that, Katie, here's where I need your help. I want to reach out to all of them and I want to let them know that your house is coming on the market next Wednesday. But here's what I know. I can send them just a typical, just listed, just sold postcard. It's just some more crap junk mail coming through their mailbox. But here's what I know, Katie. If you send them something that has your return address on their street, going to their streets, they're going to open that up before they open their power bill. Yes or no?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, here's all it's going to say is, hey, dear neighbors, it's Katie and Derek. We live in the blue house on 123 Main Street with the red door. And we got the dog that barks. Anyway, we just listed our house to go on the market next Wednesday. If you have anyone interested in seeing our home, I've included my agent's business card, Craig Reger. Give him a call. Thanks so much. If we have an open house, love to see you. Have a great day, Katie and Derek. Katie, can I do all the work and send out 100 of those to your neighborhood?
Yeah, of course.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think if a letter is sent out, I've got Heidi nodding her head, do you think if a letter is sent out from the homeowner to the nearest 100 homeowners saying, hey, if you know anyone to buy this home, you may get some phone calls off of it? It's not coming from me, it's coming from Katie and Derek. Does that make sense?
More
They're
credibility.
gonna open it and they're gonna read it. I guarantee it. Now, where am I going to get these 100 mailing addresses? I'm going to call my best friends up at Fidelity National Title, and I'm just going to simply say, hey, can you give me 100 mailing labels to 123 Main Street, Katie's house? They'll have those to me because they're an amazing company in the next 24 hours, right? Yeah, it's that easy. All right, let's fast forward 4 or 5 days, right? It's now Thursday. I put you on the market. It's now Monday, and I'm back over at your house. Congratulations, Katie. I got you 4 offers.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you. You have a beautiful home. It was a good teamwork. You're going to be thrilled. You got 35,000 over asking.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Katie, well, you know what? I couldn't be happier for you guys. They also waived inspection and they're not doing any repairs or anything. It's perfect.
You're the best realtor.
Well, you're the best client. Katie, congrats. I hate to do this, but it's so competitive out there. And I love your neighborhood and I'd love to do more work in your neighborhood. Could I ask for your help one more time?
Anything you want. You made me an extra 35,000.
Well, thank you, Katie. I want to do more work in the neighborhood. So remember those 100 letters that we wrote?
Mhm.
I'd love to do that again, but here's what the next version will say. Hey, dear neighbors, thanks for sending some of your friends over. We ended up getting multiple offers and we sold our house for substantially above asking. I promised my agent, Craig Reger, that if he did a great job, I would refer him to the neighborhood. If you have any desire to buy or sell real estate, I would highly recommend you talk with the Regers. We've enjoyed being your neighbor. We hope you like the new people moving into our house. Godspeed, Katie and Derek. Can I send a version of that out to your nearest 100 neighbors, Katie?
100%. Go for it.
All right, Brandon, James, Debbie, Ben, Pete, I can see a few of your names. Lindsay, I see your smiling face. Jason, do you think if we did this every single time we listed a home, somebody would call us up to list their house a block away?
Here's the thing, we know it. We've been doing this for about 8 months now, and all of our clients, Craig, you personally been doing this for over the year, and it's working every single time. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're not making this stuff up. Like that's why I started the call saying, yeah, I'm a coach. We have a large coaching company. We coach thousands of agents literally across the country, but I've got a team in production. All of my coaches have a team in production. Kitty, what's the average production of just my coaches?
50 million.
50 million. My average coach does 50 million. They lived through the pandemic. They've succeeded through the pandemic. And it's by adapting and doing things like this. Because when you can't do open houses anymore, guess what? You can send out these letters and you get a response. But here's the killer, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it actually takes a little bit of work. It just does. If we go back to the org chart.
And looking back at the chat, most of this group, at least who responded, is mostly in teams, or it's a little bit heavier on team side. So it's actually
Right.
not work for you, it's work for the admin.
Yeah, it's not my job to do all this. All I got to do is convince Katie at the listing appointment, can I send this out? All I've got to do after I list the property, after I sell the property, is ask her permission to do it again. And then I go back to my admin and say, hey, admin, I got permission from the DeWitts. Can you send that out? And it works. Now, if you don't have an admin, that's okay. Just do it yourself in the evenings or weekends. It'll work just as well. I'm not saying you have to have an admin to do this. I'm saying if you have one, make no mistake, this is his or her job. If you don't have one, make no mistake, it's your job. Does that make sense? How many of you have gone to pick up your lockbox after closing only to see a competitor sign across the street? Am I the only agent that's happened to over the years? Like, all right, I'm just going over to get my stuff. It's all closed. And there's my buddy across. Yeah, thank you. Marlo is communicative. I like Marlo. Yeah, man, it happens all the time. Anybody's saying it hasn't happened, it's like, it's going to. It happens. When you do this, more times than not, that person across the street is going to reach out to you. It is literally just that simple.
Yeah, a couple key things. Someone just messaged me directly and just said, are you sending it out to every nearby neighbor, or are you filtering to likely to sell?
No, that's too complicated. That's too complicated. I literally just call and say, so Katie, let's pretend that you're Fidelity Title. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Fidelity Title. How are you?
Oh, great, Craig. What can we do for you today?
It's your favorite realtor and you're my favorite title company. I need your help.
Oh boy, what do you need?
Well, I'm going to get you a bunch of more escrows. I just listed Sarah's house at 123 Main Street. Send me the nearest 100 neighbors. I don't care who they are, just owner occupied nearest 100 neighbors to 123 Main Street, El Dorado Hills.
Done. I'll even print it on the labels and send it to you within the hour.
Yeah, I want the labels. I don't have to write. Can I just stick them on the envelope?
Yep.
You're the best. That's all you do. Don't make it more complicated, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you.
You guys, the most important part, because there's a million questions usually about this, is that like, do you handwrite it? Do you type it up? Do whatever you can do to get this done, because the market is so hot. So if you can handwrite it, cool. If not, type it up. It doesn't matter. The most important part is it's the home address from the actual seller, so that they see the relevance, that it's relatable to them. And then I'd argue the second most thing is a normal stamp, if possible, just so it looks like it was more personalized. But again, if you have a machine and that's what gets you through to get it done, get it done.
Yeah, Katie, I mean, everything you said is correct. The number one thing is get it done. If you do this, you'll have more listings next month than you had this month. I absolutely promise you. So let's switch gears. Would you all like another listing strategy that works really well and you'll have very little competition? Robert's nodding his head. Okay. How many of you have heard of Rentbo? R-E-N-T-B-O. All right, let's start over. How many of you have heard of FSBO? What's a FSBO? For sale by owner, those dirty buggers. We know what those are. So do you guys know what a retbo is? All right, here's a retbo. And by the way, all of these scripts we have typed out, just reach out to Katie or Matt. They will send them to you. Retbo is somebody that bought an investment property, and rather than hiring a property manager, they're renting it out themselves. That's all they are. They bought a property, and instead of hiring a property manager, they're renting it out themselves. So Katie, you own a bunch of rentals, yes or no?
Sure do.
And do you hire a property manager to manage those, or do you and Derek manage them?
I manage them myself.
But that has nothing to do with being a licensed agent. Why do you manage them yourself?
Save money, easy.
You just do it to save money. So you're a rentbo.
Yep.
Okay. So where do you find rentbos, Katie?
So me as a rent bow, I post on Craigslist, Zillow, like I put a sign in the yard, like I want to be found, right? Like I'm trying to get prospects. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to find a rent bow.
Yeah, like people always be like, where do you find them? They want to be found. They were literally saying, my property's for rent. Call me, email me. They want to be found. Let's be clear. If you look for them, you will find rent bows. How will you know it's a rent bow? It's pretty obvious, right? It's the same thing as a licensed real estate agent. A licensed real estate agent has their brand or their trademark or Craig Reger broker. Like theirs very clearly looks like it was made by a homeowner. Makes sense, or advertising.
Yes.
All right, so Katie, I found a bunch of rent bows this morning. Should I give them the script?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, Katie, ring, ring.
Hello,
Good morning. Is this Katie?
it is.
Hi, Katie. This is Craig Reger. I'm with ABC Realty here in Yuba, California. Reason I'm calling, Katie, is I saw that your property on 123 Main Street is for rent on Zillow. Have you rented it?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, I'm calling because the market is red hot. You probably heard on the news there's a shortage of inventory. What you may not know is properties in your neighborhood right now are selling for $20,000 over asking. If I could get you that type of offer on the property, would you be a seller instead of a renter?
No, I want to keep it as a rental.
Okay. Well, clearly you're a savvy investor. Good job.
Thank you.
I'm looking for good deals every single day. If I find another good rental property, do you want to add to your portfolio?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, let me get the rest of your contact info. So what did I just find?
An investor.
I found a proven investor who owns investment properties that's agreed that they want to add to their portfolio. And I now put all of her info into my database. So when I find another good rental, I've got people to call. Is that a good strategy? I don't personally sell a lot of homes. I see Debbie nodding her head. I mean, personally sell a lot of homes with buyers. I now work a little bit more with sellers. I'm running the coaching company, but as I shared them in production, you know what drove me nuts as a buyer's agent? I'd find a killer house for a buyer, like perfect, and even a good deal, maybe not in this market. And the buyer's like, yeah, I don't like that third bedroom. It's too small. I'm like, oh my God, it's $20,000 under asking. And I'd go back and buy it myself, or I'd sell it to one of my investors. Experienced agents, you know what I'm talking about. Well, now you can leave that meeting and call back this rent bow and say, hey, I promised you I'd call you if I found a good deal. I just stumbled across one down on Johnson Street. Can I show it to you? All right, let's do the script again, Katie. Are all landlords super happy being landlords?
No.
Ring, ring.
Hello,
Hi, is this Katie?
this is.
Katie, this is Craig Reger. I'm with ABC Realty. I'm here in Humboldt, California. The reason I'm calling is I saw you're renting a property at 123 Main Street, Humboldt. Have you rented it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I just want to make you aware the market is bonkers. We have zero inventory, and the average seller in Humboldt is making about $22,000 over asking. If I could get you $22,000 above asking price, would you be a seller instead of a landlord?
Yeah, that thing's a pain in my butt, so it would sell it.
Let me guess, the last renters destroyed the carpet, messed up the paint, you're frustrated.
Yeah, I've showed it all weekend. No one's taking it. Yeah, take it off my hands.
All right, might be a good time to cash in. Why don't we meet tomorrow at 1? I'll tell you what it's worth. If you like it, we'll sign contracts. If not, I'll never bug you again.
Perfect.
Is there some landlords out there right now, right? I've got your guys' numbers. I don't have every single city. It says we cover 14 counties. It says the average between the 14 counties has gone up $100,000 in the last year. That's your market stats, ladies and gentlemen. The average has gone up 100,000. Here's what I'd argue. It has not gone up 100,000 last year. It's gone up 100,000 the last 7 months. Yes or no? Say yes.
Yep.
I guarantee it. Or whatever the number is in your market. Right? The first 3 months of the pandemic, nothing went up in value. Most markets around the US have gone up about 100,000 in the last 7 to 8 months. Is there some landlords out there that are ready to cash in on that? Of course there is.
I was one of them.
What does that mean, Katie?
I literally listed my house the year before, and it didn't sell, or it wasn't the price I wanted. And a year later, I sold it for 80,000 over than what I had put it for. It sold in 24 hours. So, by the way, I'm in this industry. You guys are the vehicle for information to your clients. So are you telling this story every single day? I'm in the industry, and it was literally like hit me. I went home and I was like, honey, we could sell that stupid rental for $80,000 more, I think. And it sold. Like, we live in it. And are we doing our best to tell our clients every single day about this information? And what I love is it's not salesy. The things Craig's saying is he pivoted either way. I love someone said, you know, he pivoted to investor, or he can pivot to sell it. You're not like pitching anything. You're not being salesy. You're just literally telling them the information. Like, hey, did you know your property could sell for 80,000 more? Or in your case, 100,000 more from last year. And you just keep making that call over and over. And someone's going to say, yes, please. Like, you're not a gross salesperson.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. You're listening, right? We're not salespeople. We listen. We provide solutions. We provide opportunities. The key is we provide it to enough people that we do the business we want to do. That's all it comes down to. And you are right, Mike. We're listening. We're a coaching company. I'm here for two reasons. One is to give you some things. Like, I've seen a lot of you nodding your heads. I think I've given you two strategies you've probably not heard before. Two is we're a coaching company. So if you feel this value, or if you feel that we've got 1,000 other scripts, techniques, models like this could be of value to you, and or the accountability to put those in place, email or text Katie. Katie, why don't you put your number in the chat box? Matt as well. Just give her a private message, and she'll set a meeting with you. We're no pressure, but if you think we could help you, we'd love to explore that with you. I'm going to switch gears, and we're going to talk about my most favorite topic as a coach, period, which will have the most help in your businesses, I promise. And it's called database. It is called database. Or we can make it fun and call it data bank, right? When we invest money in the right places, it's supposed to grow, yes or no? Say yes. If we invest into our data bank, I guarantee every one of you, your business will grow. And we can go through some stats. Maddie G, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, yes.
Maddie G, let's talk about the National Association of Realtors, which governs all of us across the whole country, NAR. NAR every year interviews about 100,000 home buyers. They ask them a series of questions, and a couple of the questions they ask is, were you happy with your agent? Would you use your agent again? Did your agent give you good service, good advice? And what is the percentage of people, Matt, across the US that on average said, I had a great experience, I would absolutely use my agent again?
90%.
90%, holy moly. Good job. As an industry, all brands, I'd say we're doing great. 9 out of 10 consumers, you look at the stress of buying and selling. Hell, the stress of moving. Moving is the worst thing on the planet. The complexities of home inspections, appraisals, prepping your house for sale. It's called like it is. No matter how good we are doing what we do, selling, moving, it's not allowing strangers in your home. That is not a fun process. And so for 9 out of 10 people to say I had a great experience, I'll use you again, I say as an industry, Danielle, we are doing fantastic. Maddie G, what percentage of consumers, when they go to buy or sell their second property, use the same agent they previously used?
This number is less happy. The average is anywhere from 11 to 17%.
Yeah, Mike knows. He put it in the chat box. Mike, you should become one of my coaches. So wait a second. How do we go from 90% saying I had a great experience to 11% saying I used a different agent? What happened? Mike knows. We didn't stay in touch. Guess what? Their kids went into preschool, and they met a new mom or dad in preschool as a realtor. They built a relationship with them. Guess what? We didn't stay in touch. And they met somebody on their daughter's soccer team that's a great agent. They became close friends with them. We lose touch with them. We are like the most weirdest industry on the planet. And I mean this out of love. This industry is my heart and passion, which is why I own a coaching company. But we spend more time convincing people we don't know to work with us than we do reminding people that said they love us. When you think of us, use us again. I mean, look at the premise of an open house. Brandon's laughing. He knows what I'm talking about. Guys, somebody's gonna be like, Craig, I love open houses. So do I. But let's look at the premise of an open house. You're gonna go to a stranger's home. You're gonna hope other strangers come through. You're going to hope those strangers give you their contact info. You're going to hope you can follow up with them and set an appointment. You're going to hope you can build a relationship and sell them a home. Yes or no, at its simplest form, is that not how an open house works? And yes, open houses are a fabulous way to meet people. The question I have, Jay, why are we doing that when we've got hundreds of family and friends and past clients? And if we just reminded them on a consistent basis, when you think real estate, think of me, they would flood us with referrals. Why do we spend so much time buying Zillow leads or Boomtown leads or Sync leads or Ylopo leads? Why do we spend so much time buying leads when we have this group of people that love us? And we just got to remind them, when you think real estate, think of me. Is that bizarre, or am I the only one that looks at it that way?
Well, let's talk conversion rates for 1 second too, just so you guys know, and this is studies done by NAR and marketing companies, that if you guys were to stay in communication, now this is really key, with, so stay in communication with someone for over a year, it would take, it's a 50-to-1 to a not met. So someone who, a paid lead, an open, like a list from open house. So to go and get random names of people who you don't know, it takes 50 people in order to get one sale. And that's after you stayed in communication with them for 1 year. Consistent communication, right? So now I have 50 strangers I had to go find them, pay for them most likely, and then communicate with them, which also takes time, money, and effort for a year to get one sale. Does anyone know what it is for someone who is in the Met category, someone who knows you already? And that knows could be someone who, you know, you did soccer camp with, 10 years ago, or went to your church 15 years ago.
Or you sold them a house a year ago.
Right. Someone who knows and has met you sometime in their life. It's a 6-to-1 conversion rate. 6-to-1.
6 people if you communicate with them consistently.
Right. And here's the thing, guys, out of that 50, you could get 50 Yahoos. Like, we don't know who we're going to work with out of that 50 people, because it's an open house premise or paying for leads, right? We had to, so in other words, in short, we had to pay money, work with someone who we didn't already know and love and trust, and wait a year to get that. That actually is shorter time frame as well for that 6-to-1 conversion rate, but we're going to extend that to 1 year. So why are we not working with people who we already know, love, and trust? And it's free. It's in our cell phone. Hey, you guys, I bet there's a whole bunch of people in here you haven't talked to in a year. Start with this before starting to work with other people.
Well, here's the test, Katie. And I don't know the longevity of everybody in this group, but let's just pretend every one of you has been in real estate for at least 1 year. Let's just pretend that as a basis. And let's pretend 1 year ago today, you sold me a house in your market. What did it say, the 23rd, 24th?
22nd.
22nd. Okay, so April 22nd of last year, you handed me keys. You were a phenomenal agent, by the way, right? You helped us solve a problem. We're in the beginning of a pandemic. You worked your butt off, and you handed me keys on April 22nd, 1 year ago today. Here's the question I want each of you to ask yourself, and seriously, take this seriously. It has been 1 year. How many times have you communicated with me? If you handed somebody keys 1 year ago today, how many communications have you had with that person? Because here's what I know through the escrow process. We talked more than I talked to my spouse. We talked 3, 4, 5 times on certain days. You guys know the drill. You're awesome at what you do. And then you handed me the keys. How many times did you communicate with me? And communicate can be a text message. It could be, well, probably not a lot of face-to-face in the pandemic. It could be a Facebook message. It could have been an email. It could have been a snail mail. You could have left something on my doorstep. In my opinion, if the answer is less than 24 in 1 year, you are leaving so much money on the table. Let me repeat that. If your answer in your mind is less than 24, you are leaving so much money on the table. Why do you think it is that why, Matt, why do we have that ratio, right, buddy? Like, it's 90% said I had a great experience and 10% actually use us again. And Mike said, he put in the chat bars, like, because we don't stay in touch. Ladies and gentlemen, whose job is it to stay in touch? It's not the CEO's job. It's not the listing agent's job. It's not the buyer's agent's job. It's the admin. The reason most of us are so dang horrible at staying in touch with people is because we are really, really bad admin of our own company. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Let me repeat, most of us don't stay in touch. Brandon knows, because we're just not good admin of our own company. And don't let that hurt your feelings. You didn't go into this business to sit down and work on your database for 3-4 hours a day. You went in this business to help buyers and sellers. You went into this business to negotiate. You went in this business because you love homes or you love people. Most of us did not choose this industry because we love the administrative side of it, which is why our databases suck.
Well, hang on. Can I tell them the good news?
Yeah.
So if you have been in this industry, you guys, I'm going to give you a free pass. If you've been in the industry for more than 3 years and you do not have a perfect CRM, your database is a mess, you don't have everyone in there from your cell phone, and you're not consistently touching your people, guess what? You're not going to do it. You might have the intention to do this. You have the strong mind. You are capable of doing it. We know that you're smart and able to do it. And if you have not done it for 3 years, I am giving you a hall pass. Go hire the 17-year-old who is off of COVID, doesn't have school right now, and bored. Go hire the agent who hasn't sold a house this year down the hall because they're broke and they'll do it for $400. Hire someone today to literally grab just your database and start inputting it into a CRM. So we've got
and to send out 2 touches a month.
And just send that out. Literally find a program, put it in, and literally Malika will help you with that. And seriously, just start talking to your people. This is worth the $400 or $100 that you would pay some kid to do. And this is like your takeaway. Like, this is not work for you. Pay someone else to do it. Because even though you know you can, you haven't done it yet. And that's okay to just say, I'm not there. And that took me 5 years to learn, you guys. And like finally hired an assistant to realize, like, every year I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get it done this year. I'm going to hit that goal. I'm going to get my database up and perfect. And all I did was just miss business because I was trying to do everything. So it's okay to hand this off today. I'm giving you the free pass. If you haven't done it, you're not going to have someone else do it.
Well, and I knew somebody was going to ask, Katie, and I 100% agree with what you said. I think it was Rachel Keeney just put in the chat bar, what CRM do you use? That's the most common question I get when I talk about DataBank. Rachel, my dear, I don't know you. I don't even know if I can see your face. You might be on a different screen. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter, right? You can use Brivity, you can use Boomtown, you can use Sync, you can use Follow Up Boss, you can use Lion Desk. Your company probably has its own. Just use one every single day. Just literally use one. Yes, video is a great way to communicate as well, Rachel. Just use one every single day. And I absolutely promise you, your business will go vertical. Right. So, I could give you my 3 favorite data banks, but at the end of the day, they're all so dang similar. All a database does is store info, allows you to take notes, and has reminders. So I talked to Katie today, and Katie told me to screw off because her son just fell down. Does that happen with a potential client? Say yes. Katie's got how old is he? 2?
2.5.
Wow. All right. So Katie's got a 2.5-year-old. They do fall down. Now, is it possible that she does want to buy or sell a home in the next 6 months? So I just put a note. Katie's son fell down. She was in a bad mood. Call her in 30 days. Right? That's all CRMs do. There's a contact, there's a note, and there's a reminder. So 30 days from today, I'll walk into my office, I'll turn on my CRM, and it says, call Katie, and it'll be a little note that says, last time you called Katie, your son had just fallen down. And I can check in on that. So it really doesn't matter. Destiny, can you load that slide for me? So I'm going to give you guys an example of a touch that I sent out about 3 weeks ago that led to my team taking 6 listings. It's about a month ago. We send out a touch every 2 weeks. This one really got a good response. And the reason I wanted to share it is because according to Fidelity National Title, most of your markets did better than mine. Fidelity National Title told me that your markets on average went up 100,000. If you don't know the exact amount your market has gone up, call Fidelity National Title and they can give you your zip codes and the appreciation of the last year. But this is a touch we sent out to our database a month ago, and we took 6 listings from this touch. 84,100, the amount the average home value in Portland went up last year. That's my market, Portland, Oregon. 84,100 represents the additional amount of money a seller capitalized on. 84,100 is what buyers lost by not buying a year ago. 84,100 represents the amount homeowners just gained in equity and was probably their largest assets. Whatever your situation, 84,100 is a lot of money and a number to know if you own a home. Will interest rates remain low? Will houses skyrocket in value? We lost our crystal ball, so the answer is unclear. What we do know is this current market is benefiting both buyers with low rates and sellers rising prices. It is an extreme way that cannot last forever. If you want to capitalize on this historic market, let's call or connect. Here's my contact info. So you can unshare that, Destiny. So when Katie and I share with you that all of our coaches are in production, we are networking with top agents around the country. We are coaching top agents around the country, and we are sharing things like this amongst us. And we're copying, ripping off, duplicating, and putting it out there. But wouldn't you like to have touches like that where you send it out to a database and about 9 people responded saying, hey, I think we should talk. And we did. And of the 9, 6 of them, we've since put their house on the market and sold them.
That's something that people really like about our style of coaching is that it's not necessarily like theoretical, like, oh, you should do this. And the road's like, hey, I sold 150 homes last week. I got a listing off of this touch I did, copy and paste. I'm going to send it to you. Love it. Start running with it. So we literally just like send you the actual template to say like, hey, this is proven. It generated X amount for me. Just run with it. So it's really just hands-on with proven results, especially, with the pandemic is a great example. And going back to the circumstance quote is things change every day. And how nice is it to have a coach who's actually in production and doing at a really high level to give you proven results that are changing drastically every day.
Yeah, I agree, Katie. I'm just a big fan of, we can swipe our Visa and we can have some national companies create our touches for us. And that's cool, like it works. But there's nothing that works as well as our market's gone up 84,100. It's written by somebody on my team, or if I don't have a team, I would write it myself. I started without a team. I was writing these things myself 17 years ago. When it's local to who I am or who my essence is, and when it's local to my market, guess what? My sphere resonates with that. I'm going off topic, Katie. I remember like 7 years ago, I started paying somebody to do my own personal social media. My own personal page, how do you think that worked out?
Did it sound like you?
No, my friends were like, dude, what the hell are you putting online these days? I was like, it's not me, I'm paying somebody. I was like, okay, they're fired from that role. That's not me. Well, likewise, I don't prefer using a national company to talk to my clients. What I love, and we get so wrapped up in it, like, what do we send? What do we send? It's so easy, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you think there's 1,000 shows on HGTV about buying and selling homes? We are in the most fascinating industry on the planet. Yet we get stressed out. Dude, what do we send? Tell them their houses went up 80,100. Tell them about the bidding war you experienced yesterday that had 72 offers and your client lost. Who cares your client lost? Your client will be fascinated to know that somebody in their community got 72 offers. Tell them about the flip that somebody bought at 400, put 100 into it and sold for 800. Tell them about the rent mo that you converted in being a seller that thought their house was worth 300. Now, Maddie, your previous relationship.
Yeah.
Tell us about what Ryan decided to do with his property, because you listed it yesterday.
Yeah. So, he called me last week, said, I think it's time for me to list my primary residence. And I'm like, okay, let's pull some comps on that. And I said, well, let me talk to you about your rental property that's about 45 minutes north of you. Have you thought about listing that? And he's like, well, no, it's a rental property. I make money off of it. I'm like, I don't think you're aware of how homes are comping and are above asking price are happening in the market in Portland versus Salem. He's like, no, pull some numbers for me. So I pulled some numbers for him and he's like, oh my gosh, I want to sell my rental and my
Matt, what did he think it was worth before you pulled the numbers?
His rental property?
Yes.
Oh, he thought he'd maybe just sell it for maybe 10,000 above asking.
Wait, Matt, sorry, what did he think it was worth before you gave him a price?
Oh, he thought it was worth 330.
Perfect. What did you list it for yesterday?
370.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to. So he thought his property was worth 330, and what did you sign contracts for yesterday?
370.
And what do you think it'll sell for?
390 at least.
Wow. So people are so freaked out about, like, what do I touch them with? Tell them that story. Hey, my buddy Ryan was going to sell his house in Salem. The Salem market sucks. So we told him, don't sell that one. You should look at your rental in Wilsonville, 45 minutes away. He's like, I think it's worth about 330. We pulled comps on it. We listed at 370. We're going to sell it at 390. That's a story to tell your database.
Right.
That's an HGT moment that we just got to share.
Well, and by the way, that email that Craig, that last email touch that you sent out to your database, Craig, it's not flashy, guys. Like, there's emojis in it. Like, it's It's simple. It literally is just telling the story of what happened. It's simple. It's direct. It's not like he spent hours in a marketing department. Like Craig is one of the top agents in the country. And that was just like a simple email. And Craig, I'm not mocking your email. It was very well done. It's just, we put so much work into getting ready to get ready. And it's like, well, I have to design a flyer and I have to do this. It's like, call your title company, have them figure the numbers for you, or you can do it yourself, or just tell your week story. Right? I just wrote 9 offers on a house right now. Have you thought about, like, you're going to get over asking for any listing that you list right now? Homes right now are the most expensive they've ever been in history.
Say that again, Katie. The homes are the most expensive they've been in the history of the world.
Anywhere in the country, you guys. It does not matter if you have a house in Louisiana or a house up in Seattle. It does not matter. Every single home right now is the most expensive it's ever been in history.
It's a cool story to tell.
Have you told your people that? That right there is just an email by itself, right? Like all these little sentences is another touch just to talk to your people, or a Facebook post or a text message. We overcomplicate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Katie.
A big reason why we need to stay in front of our database is this stat came out 2 weeks ago. There are more realtors in the United States than there are homes to sell. There are more realtors than there are homes to sell. Do you think staying in front of your database is more important now than ever? Yeah.
Really good, Maddie.
And can I chime in, Craig? Can I tell you
Definitely.
guys that we have free content for all of those that are working on social media, needing content for those email drips, those e-newsletters. Corfact we have a crazy overflow. There are so many things. It's not that the marketing message wasn't working. It just didn't make it to print on our template. So we have the overflow available to each of you in our academy. That's free. Doesn't cost anything. I shouldn't be chiming in to talk about something that doesn't cost money, but I at least wanted to say it because it's relevant. So
Well, I agree with you. I mean, we are literally partners with Fidelity National Title here in Portland, Oregon. We get all of our content. We work with Corfax. Like it is not like, hey, can I have a calendar? Like we are in partnership, getting our content from you, delivering it to our clients. And then what that means is we get more listings we get to send you. We all win together. I want to thank you guys. We have about 2 minutes left. I hope we gave you some value today. I hope you look back on that quote. Thank you, Pete, for nodding your head, sir. I hope we gave you some value. I hope you really focus on that quote. Greatness is not a function of circumstances. It's conscious choice and discipline. You've got the conscious choice to have a good database. You've got the conscious choice to call Rentbo should you be so brave. You've got the conscious choice to work the business around your listings with that letter and get more listings. You've got the conscious choice. The question is, do you have the discipline? And the discipline is where coaching comes in. So we'll take the last 45 seconds and share with you what we do in coaching. And then we'll leave you alone. It's up to you if you'd like a free consultation, Cody. Or Katie, what does coaching look like at RCC?
Yeah, if you guys have questions, or honestly, this group was so great. If you just want to book an appointment with me, we're going to do a free coaching call for you guys for the rooms that we just love and really connect with, and your energy was awesome. Use that time to just get a free coaching call out of it. If you also want to book it and just have a conversation about coaching. So how it works is we hear about your goals, your vision, and what you guys want to do. And then I actually personally handpick the coach for you. So by the end of the call, we're going to say, hey, here's who your coach is. This is what they're, if you want to excel in FSBOs, then I'm going to put you with a guy who's been known for FSBOs. And we directly match you guys up.
Database. We all want to excel in database, Katie. I guarantee that.
I know, right? Yeah. But we're going to put you in the right category. But yes, it's all custom. And then what goes next is your first call with your coach is 2 hours all about you, your vision, how do you communicate, what your goals are, and then they handcraft a 90-day plan for you. We want that 90 days because we want to make sure that you are compatible with your coach, that you guys are hitting marks, and that it's a good fit for both parties. The coach is wanting to make sure this is a good fit for them as well. And after that 90 days, it just goes month to month, you guys. So it's 90-day commitment. And I think we can all agree that if you had someone every single week giving you proven market stats, material, and tools, and held you accountable to those, after 90 days, I would assume that you are going to do more in that 90 days than you probably did last year.
Awesome.
Right? Yeah.
Awesome.
Direct accountability, you guys. So yeah, set an appointment, free coaching call for you guys, or if you want to just learn more about our services and what we do.
Stacy, so it starts at 500 or 495. Most of our coaching is 995. There's a few programs that go up from there, but it's either 2 to 4 calls a month, depending on what price point you're at. Yeah, and as Katie said, it's a 90-day commitment. If we're going to move your needle and have a change in your business, we ask for a 90-day contract. But we're so good at what we do. After day 91, you can fire us, you can terminate, and it goes on month to month. That does not happen very often, but we do need those 90 days to make a change. We can't do it in 2 or 3 calls. We start the change, but the escrow show up, the balance shows up, the productivity shows up 90 days later. So reach out to Katie, Fidelity National Title. Malika, you are a superstar. I love your energy, my dear. Thank you so much for all being interactive. Having your cameras on is like, holy crud, this is incredible. I literally have not seen this many faces in 13 months. Everybody's normally blacked out. So you guys have a really profitable, really successful, really balanced weekend. Thanks, everyone.
Hey.
Take care.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
so much for having
Craig.
Thanks,
us.
Craig. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
That was awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Wonderful.
Yeah.